Hi there, John Rennie here from Media Services, and welcome to this quick induction on how to plug a microphone into Adobe Audition and how to add effects to the rack. Once the microphone has been plugged in via USB, go to Adobe Audition CC, System Preferences, Audio Hardware. If you are using a Windows computer rather than a Mac, go to Edit. Audio Hardware will be found at the bottom of the Edit options list. In Audio Hardware, you will see two settings, Default Input and Default Output. The default input will automatically be set to built-in microphone. In Default Input, select the down arrow and select the mic you are using, in this case the H2N. In Default Output, select Built-in Output and the sound will be played back in real time from the computer speakers. This means you can plug headphones directly into the computer and listen to yourself back in real time. Beneath this you will see I/O buffer time and sample rate. If your file size output will be small, select a smaller buffer. In this case I will select 32. For longer file clips over 5 minutes, you might want to turn the buffer size up a little. It is worth noting on buffer size to use smaller values for lower latency and higher values if you're experiencing dropouts or breaks during audio playback or recording. If you have problems with this, set the buffer size to the default, which is 512. For sample rate, select the same sample rate as the microphone you are using. In this case, the H2N is set to 44100. The sample rate is always worth checking. For example, if you're using the Zoom H6 as an audio interface, the Zoom H6's default is 48,000. So it's always worth to have a double check what the sample rate of your microphone or sound card is. Then click OK. Next, to open up a waveform on the timeline, you will need to select one of two options, waveform or multi-track. This is a personal choice, but for me, I prefer to work in the multi-track setting. Once you click on waveform or multi-track options, you'll be given the command to save your file. If you're using our sound booth, save the file to your USB, or if you're working in one of our edit suites, save the file to your student partition. Next, in track controls, select the track you wish to record on, and then select default stereo input, mono, and select your microphone. Just above that select, you will see three buttons: R, which you need to press to arm the track to record, solo, which can solo that track, and mute, which will mute that track for playback. Once you hit the record button, you will see it turns red, and your track is ready for recording. All your controls to control playback, fast forward, stop, play, and record are at the center bottom of the Audition interface. Hit the red circle, which is record, to begin your recording. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, testing mic setup, 1 2 3. Once your recording is done, you can hit spacebar to stop the recording, or press the stop button on the controls at the bottom center. To slice and edit your audio track, go to the top left of the interface, where you will see the razor option. Select the razor. With this, move to the timeline. You can then click on your track and make edits to the audio. Then reselect your arrow tool at the top left, click on the part of the track you wish to get rid of, and press delete. To move the audio backwards and forwards on the timeline, click and hold and drag it to where you would like to place it on the track. Audition has a simple fade in and fade out effect, which is automatically applied to the beginning and end of each track. To add a fade in or a fade out to your track, simply put the arrow tool over the small grey box on the top corner and drag it along to the preferred length of your fade in or fade out. Now to add effects to your track, go to the Effects option at the top of the Audition interface, and you will see a multitude of effects you can add to your track. Amplitude and compression. The multiband compressor works distinctively well. Delay and echo. Filter and EQ. I would recommend the 10-band graphic equalizer. For modulation, chorus, flanger and phase. And noise reduction. Denoise, adaptive noise reduction, de-hummer and de-reverb can help to clear up muddied or dirty audio tracks. This can help, but do remember, distorted audio can often be very hard to clean up. For delicate reverb, we would recommend studio reverb. Surround reverb can also be quite good if you want to give a spacey feel to your audio tracks. And in special, I would recommend mastering. Once you find the effect you want, double click on it and you will see it appear in the effects rack on the left hand side of the Audition interface. You can then double click on the effect and go in and edit the individual parameters. Each track also has its own volume control, which you can change by hovering over the number and manually changing it, or moving the mouse left to right, and stereo balance, where you can pan to the right or pan to the left. At the bottom of the interface on the last track is also the master volume. This will control the volume of all tracks when you are getting ready to export. To export your session, first select an in point and an out point on the timeline. By finding the beginning of the place you want to export from, press I, then to the end where you want to export to, and press O. Then go to File, Export, Multitrack Mixdown, Entire Session. You will then be given all the information of your file type, file size, and where the file will be saved to. Click OK and your track will export. To clear in and out points, hover over the top of the timeline and select Clear Time Selection. And last but not least, the opposite of that, if you're not working with a mic and just wish to import a file straight into Audition to work on, go to File, Import, find the file you wish to import, click OK, and the file will appear in the top left of the Audition interface. You can then drag that from the top left files box directly onto the timeline. And that's all. Thank you very much for watching.